is actually intellectual property playing, in your view, in building competitive moats for small and medium enterprise? Because we're talking about small and medium enterprise.
Sure.
How can they play the big game like the big boys are playing already?
Yeah, I think and I know in some of your in the presentations I've seen from you, Matteo, you do a good job trying to structure
Mhm.
thoughts around this. But I kind of break it down into I kind of come at it like almost like four kind of pillars that I try to build when I'm looking at when I'm looking at a company, and we're looking at building a company, naming it, designing it, trademarking it, looking for protective moats, integrating it into ecosystems. So I like to break the challenge down that if I conceive of a new product or a new invention that I want to put my time, my resources, collect other resources, other employees and put it into it, that you have an obligation to try to at first try to be really clear, hence like the name of my company, Clear IP, but be really understand what you have and what are your obligations in terms of registering the idea and what intellectual property opportunities there are to protect it, and then what are kind of trade secret opportunities that you have to protect it. So you want to kind of come up with a strategy, around that. So you start off, you say you conceive of a new invention, and that invention might be how you make the product or service might be a secret. People maybe don't know, or they're not going to put the time in to replicate it in different ways. So it might have, if it's a technology company, there might be code bases, there might be know-how, there might be different elements of it. So you want to figure out what part of your technology you want to keep a secret. And then you might name the company. So then you name the company and you go and see if there's a domain name that allows you to market yourself, on the web. Then you go through the part of trying to build out trademarks, and then you look at ideas like concepts like design, and then as you build out that technology and that infrastructure, as you start to sell it into clients and customers, you become part of an ecosystem. And you want to think about how do you wire your contracts and your technology and registrations into your ecosystem so that's very hard to replace you. So you might build a community around your technology or offering, and the community might be, customers that are using your tech, contracts that you have to make it available through distribution partners. So I break it down into an ecosystem play. I'll call it almost like hygiene factors of trademarks, domain names, copyrights, just doing the right things, your company formation documents. And then you have opportunities to like patents, that we're involved in, utility patents that you can register that might actually block competition from coming into and copying your idea directly. And then you build it all the way out to, as I was saying, like this ecosystem play. So I kind of look at it around a bunch of different pillars. What's key is if you don't start off first by, and we talk about kind of growing the concept, but if once you build a nice moat around your organization, then you can invest in it because it can't be easily copied, by someone else coming into it, and that's going to give comfort to venture capitalists, to partners, to employees, and it's going to allow more resources to go into your product or invention. If you don't take the time to build your moat, around your technology, then you'll be people will be nervous about investing in it because they'll say, hey, why couldn't someone else just look at my website, check everything, and scan it and do it again? So I think I know you talked about growing and investing and kind of building it. I kind of play a little bit of deep, like I think we used the expression the midfielder role, right? Like like the midfielder role that like
With
you're trying to
football.
deliver the pass, trying to deliver the pass up to based on your presentation, uh, up to how do you think about it? How do you sometimes play a little defense and sometimes you play a little bit of offense? But if you have it really well positioned, then you give everyone an opportunity to invest in it. And, there are a lot of opportunities to actually, file patents in some cases for your inventions. And that's an area that I've been successful with in my career that, I come up with, concepts or, with a team, either individually or with a team. And then we go and see, okay, can we carve off some exclusivity so that if someone went, so that we would have, and the trade-off when you file a patent around an idea is that you basically disclose the invention to the government. And then in return, if they find out that it's novel, that it's inventive, and it's useful, the government may give you a patent. If they give you a patent, then the trade-off is you disclose your invention to the government, and they give you a period of exclusivity for what you disclosed. So it's a trade-off that the government says,
Oh,
hey, we want to hear about your inventions, and we want to give you a window of time to invest in it. So to your earlier statement, a big company can't come in and just quickly copy it on you, or they could say, hey, listen, we don't want to buy the invention from you because we can just set up our manufacturing teams or, our software teams to develop a version of it. So it's probably a big a complicated answer, but I think this kind of, playing defense and offense allows you to build it. But I think the moat building strategy is something that you need to be thinking of kind of from day one.